When it comes to the world of smartphones, there are two companies that stand out as clear frontrunners to the masses, Samsung and Apple. For the past several years, these two companies have kept their design language almost the same, fine-tuning their designs to perfection. In today's video, we pin the Galaxy S24 Ultra against the iPhone 15 Pro Max and see which one of the flagship powerhouses come up on top. Starting with the design. The iPhone is a sleek, sophisticated and elegant phone. The design is very similar to the previous models. However, they have rounded the edges, so there is an even smoother transition of where the front and back glass meet the frame. The corners are also slightly rounder, which is very difficult to see from a distance, but when you hold it in the hand, the increase in comfort is significant compared to the previous models. The frame is brushed titanium combined with a frosted back glass that doesn't attract too many fingerprints. The bezels on the display have also shrunk and give an even cleaner look to the overall experience. Camera setup on the back is exactly the same as it used to be, but the individual lenses stand out a tiny bit more than they used to. Then we have the action button and USB-C, a welcome addition. It's taken them some time to include it, but it's finally here. Moving on to the Galaxy S24 Ultra. Both of these devices are on the larger size, with the Galaxy being even a bit bigger. That being said, it's slimmer than last year's model, and now we have a 100% flat display as well, that is protected by the best-in-class Gorilla Glass armor. The bezels are even thinner than last year, and they are uniform all around, leading to a very clean and well-rounded look. With the flat display, it can make the edges a bit sharp, but the matte titanium rails have been rounded, so it's a comfortable holding experience. Similar to the iPhone, the back glass has been frosted. Combine that with those matte rails and fingerprints are also not a big issue on this device. The camera layout is exactly the same as last year's model. However, you'll see that the 10x zoom lens is no longer there, as the rectangular periscope has been replaced by a 5x optical zoom lens. The S Pen is still tucked away in the left bottom corner. Both of these devices feel incredibly premium and expensive in the hand. However, the Galaxy S24 Ultra has that wow factor. From the display to the rounded edges, it just makes you feel excited to pick it up and interact with it. It's a beautiful device and it takes the design category. Moving on to the displays. The S24 Ultra is rocking a squared off 6.8-inch 120Hz LTPO Dynamic AMOLED HDR10 Plus panel. It's a vibrant and beautiful display that has a peak brightness of 2600 nits. The peak brightness combined with the new anti-glare layer makes for a truly impressive viewing experience in all circumstances. The iPhone is packing a rounded 6.7-inch 120Hz LTPO OLED Dolby Vision HDR10 screen that maxes out at 2000 nits. Both of these panels are exceptional and leave little to be desired with visuals. However, the anti-glare on the Samsung works better than the iPhone. It's difficult to explain how much of a difference this makes. It's an awesome technology and it works like magic. We do, however, feel that you lose a slight amount of color richness because of it. It's not a big deal and the trade-off is definitely worth it. Another win for the Galaxy device. Let's talk performance and power. Both of these devices are absolute beasts, with the Pro Max running the A17 Pro and the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 for Samsung stuffed into the Ultra. These devices run buttery smooth and blast past almost anything you throw at them. To harness some of this capacity, both Samsung and Apple have added some features so you can actually utilize the extra oomph from these chipsets. We get some gaming titles specifically made for the iPhone and AI for the Galaxy. Let's talk batteries. The iPhone has a 4441 mAh battery, and even though the Samsung device is slightly slimmer than before, it still contains a 5000 mAh battery itself. The 15 Pro Max, like the previous models, has exemplary battery performance. You could easily make it through 2 days of moderate use, and on heavy use, you'll struggle to deplete the batteries in a day. On the charging front, it charges at 30 watts, which is not very high, but combined with the battery performance, it's not an issue at all. Also, the fact that the Apple has MagSafe and you can balance it and still use the screen whilst it charges gives some added functionality and convenience. The Galaxy S24 Ultra is even better than last year in terms of battery performance. The way it manages its battery and the efficiency boost from the chipset means that it's the best experience we've ever had from an Ultra device. It charges reasonably fast as well, and the battery lasts even a bit longer than the one in the Pro Max. We give both batteries a 9.8 out of 10, but a draw. Alright, now this is one of the most important things for most people on a phone: cameras. Both of these devices have recently changed up their cameras, with Samsung swapping out its 10x periscope zoom lens for a 5x 50 megapixel telephoto camera, and the iPhone using a new 12 megapixel 5x periscope telephoto. The main sensor on the iPhone is a 48 megapixel sensor, and the third camera is a 12 megapixel ultra wide. On the Samsung, we get a 200 megapixel main sensor, a 3x and 5x telephoto combination, and a 12 megapixel ultra wide. Standard shots from both of these cameras look fantastic. There's definitely a bit more HDR feeling from the Samsung, and the iPhone is generally a tad better when it comes to just pointing and shooting. Both phones look good, however, and the Ultra definitely understands how to capture dramatic looking shots that look great, but the iPhone edges the general shooting category, including portraits and shots of vibrant colors like flowers. Capturing pictures on both of these devices are top class, and you can go either way depending on the circumstances. The nighttime shots are close too, with the Samsung still struggling with the night sky, but capturing better looking night shots on many occasions. It's close again, but the iPhone was more consistent. Video capture on these devices is rock solid, but the audio is actually a bit better on the Samsung from our observations. Stabilization in daylight is good on both, with the iPhone edging it very slightly, and nighttime video is much improved on the Ultra, but again just more stability from the iPhone. And the Galaxy S24 Ultra has the better selfie camera. It's a close affair, but we would have to give this category to the 15 Pro Max. How about user experience? On the iPhone, the experience has been and still is the cleanest software OS on the market. It's fast, responsive, and everything is well optimized to give a snappy, simplistic, and sensible experience, and we love that about iOS. On Samsung's side of things, AI has become the name of the game. On top of that, this is the best One UI experience ever. Animations are consistent and things are buttery smooth. However, the added functionality of all the AI features just does so much. It's definitely something to get used to, but when you start to use the features like notes or circle to search and the magic camera editor, it really feels like the future of what phones should be. Smartphones are so powerful nowadays. Features like AI assistants that are actually useful and usable are a great way to use the capacity of these chipsets. And in this way, it feels like the Galaxy S24 Ultra is ahead of the iPhone, and it quite frankly makes the iPhone feel old school. The S24 Ultra just feels like a better tool to help you with your daily tasks and things. And the S Pen, even though most people don't use it 99% of the time, the one time that you do use it, it's a great thing to have, and it certainly makes editing pictures more precise. User experience definitely goes to the Galaxy. Onto the price tag. The standard iPhone 15 Pro Max with 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs internally ships for $1,130, which is a steep price, but still not as expensive as the $1,300 that you'll have to pay for the Samsung, which also gets 256 gigs internally, but then has 12 gigs of RAM. All things considered, we have the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra as the clear winner. It looks better, feels more special as a device, and the cameras are great, even though the iPhones are better. The main thing is the AI functionality. These features are awesome and make good use of the chipset. Which one did you guys pick? Let us know in the comments below. And if you like this video, please smash the like button, it really helps us out. Give us a sub and ding the notifications bell to stay up to date with our latest content. Until next time, stay under the spotlight.